Alright, so welcome back folks to the Wanneroo channel. So it's been a little bit of time between drinks with videos. Past month has been just totally insane. Simply have not had any time at all. So it's just been completely busy. I actually made these 300 Blackout rounds for this video probably at least 5 weeks ago or so, and simply have not had the time to make the video. So I know a lot of other people that are super busy right now too, so maybe it's just kind of this post coronavirus thing where things are returning to normal and there's all sorts of stuff going on. But a lot of other people I know, they're super busy as well, so it just seems like a whole bunch of things coming together at the same time. So anyways, this video here, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up today. So we've got I had kind of a batch of little gun in the hopper, so I pretty much used all that up and just kind of made a full-on batch. I've shot thousands of these in the past, so I kind of know what the story is with them. I've already previously worked up loads with them several times, have chronographed them as well, so I have data going back years with these. So to recap, these are just kind of a standard 150 grain full metal jacket Hornady bullet with little gun powder. And then also the brass is just kind of a mixed master brass. The one thing I didn't do this time with this is that a lot of times with the 300 Blackout brass that I use, I always trim it back to length, chamfer it, deburr it, all that. One thing, especially if you have like ex-military brass, you got to make sure the primer pockets are swaged and all that stuff too. But essentially this time the thing is I know this fall probably going to be doing a fair bit of shooting. I know that there's I'm going to have some visitors and stuff, so probably about as fast as I make this is how quickly we'll use it up. It's not going to sit on the shelf for very long. So whatever I make coming up here in the next couple weeks, most likely it's just all going to get shot up shortly. So the thing with these is that where you come from, some little ant thinks he's going to get in on the party here. So anyways, so with these, the whole purpose kind of behind them is we're just making kind of a plinking load that's relatively inexpensive. Last I looked, this series of videos has gone on over a couple months, and I've noticed prices on bullets are gradually trending downwards. I'm starting to see a lot more sales, seeing them turning up in bulk, and prices do seem to be going down. I think the last time I looked, these were running at about 23 cents a bullet. I bought mine years ago, not that many years ago, but a couple years ago. I bought mine for about 15 cents a bullet, roughly, give or take. I think some I got as cheap as 12.5 cents on one sale that I did. I'm real big about buying in bulk and shopping on sale. So, they're still up there above 20 cents, but we'll see if I think if the economy kind of continues where it's at and metals prices relax a little bit and some of the supply catches up with demand, I think we'll start to see prices gradually fall, as long as also too there's not any other political type drama going on, as we seem to have every couple years or so, some sort of political thing happening. So it's quiet right now on that. So I think if that happens, we will start to see prices start to get a little bit better next year, but we'll see. But at least for right now, compared to a lot of other bullets, so you're looking at the low 20s, and then plus your brass, your primer, and your powder. So powder, I've noticed, I have not been to gun stores too much lately. Of what I've been keeping track of, it does seem, especially the Hogden stuff, seems to be coming back into stock and stuff, and you should be able to find it somewhere. Primers obviously are still difficult, but I think one thing is that If you've been around the gun world for a while, you again know that every couple years we always have these dramas going on where, you know, basically the Democrats are always up to no good. So, you know, and prices go up, demand goes crazy, and there's primer shortages at times. So if you've been around the gun world for a while and this is your first time you've gone through something like this, or if you haven't been around the gun world for a while and this is your first time going through shortages and all that, then you're going to learn your lesson kind of like I did in 2013, and basically you're going to go out and buy what you need. And my philosophy is I keep a bare minimum of like what I use, a bare minimum of 5 years supply, you know, so that way I can shoot for 5 years and not have to worry about anything. I haven't really bought much of anything in the past 2 years, and I could probably go, you know, easily another 5 to 10 years without buying anything else if I had to, and continue to shoot normally. So, you know, basically buy what you need to get you through for at least 3 years, I would say. That would be a good baseline. And then, you know, along the way, you can pick up other supplies, or whatever the drama is at the time will subside and prices will get better, and then you can buy back in. So, you know, that's kind of been my approach with stuff. And I just don't believe on if you're just dependent on, you know, going to the store to get what you need on an immediate basis, you're going to get screwed over at some point. So the supplies are just not going to be there. Stuff's going to get bought up. Prices will go up for whatever reason. And, you know, that's the way it is. So, you know, plan ahead and prepare. You know, and I think also that too is the thing about reloading, is that essentially we're trying to kind of make ourselves more self-sufficient. So once we have our brass and, you know, stock up on components and stuff, we can kind of do our own thing, and we're not dependent on buying factory ammo and stuff. So that's kind of the deal. Now, one of the other questions I got is the overall length with these. So I saw a video years ago before I did these, and the dude was seating them at like 2.14, or they're, you know, the bullets are seated way out there. I don't see the point in that. If a bullet has a cannular, I load the cannular, and then I kind of adjust my load around that, and that's the way I do it. So, you know, if other people want to do different, I mean, the whole thing with this game is that you got to figure it out on your own. So what I do is what works for me, and, you know, what you do is what works for you. And a lot of times that's the thing about this, we exchange information, but then we got to kind of take that information and kind of collate it into figuring out what works for us. You know, you'll get all sorts of different opinions out there and all sorts of stuff. So the question I had from one of the viewers was about the overall length. So if you can see that there, a little bit of sunlight, 2.064. So that's just kind of one, and then we can look at another here. And let's see, 2.061. And this is 2.059. So as I mentioned, I think in one of the first one or two videos, you know, I did not trim these to length, so you are going to have some variation with that. So, you know, it just kind of is what it is. Like I said, for me, this is kind of plinking ammo, so it's a deal where, you know, I'm not overly concerned about where it just has to be complete perfection. Now, if I'm loading around for, you know, what I want, kind of more precision, for distance, things like that, then I'll get kind of more tied up about that, where I'll focus on the brass kind of being all the same, and trying to kind of equalize everything the best I can for that consistency. But, you know, that's pretty much in spec, and so, you know, I'm not too worried about a couple thousandths here or there with what we're doing. So, you know, if you do want to kind of, in the past, I've loaded these where, you know, I've gone through the brass and I've trimmed them up. Everything's exactly the same, chamfered and deburred them and all that stuff. And, you know, so I've done that with this load before. But, if, you know, so if you want to do that, you know, I guess that's always an option. So anyways, out here at the range today, Let me go ahead and get this adjusted here. So I'll go ahead and stop. All right, so now we got our camera here aimed down range. So the range right now is looking a little scruffy. I did do some mowing, but it needs a good haircut and a good trim. So at some point here, hopefully in the next couple of days, I can get out here and weed whack and you know, cut a lot of this crap down. So one of the things I find a lot of times is when the stuff goes crazy in the summer, just let it all grow up, and then as you get into fall, just come back and cut it all down instead of trying to come back constantly several times and trimming it all that. It's just too time consuming. So anyways, it's kind of more of a jungle environment. The camera probably doesn't pick it out as much. I did tromp down some of the goldenrod out there so I can see the target better, but target is out there just over 50 yards away, so that's what we're going to be shooting at. It's just a standard IDPA target. The one thing I don't have with that IDPA target is good definition in terms of like where my center aiming point is, so that's kind of a little bit of a pain. I probably need to get some other targets for this type of shooting and stuff. I think I have some, but they're just buried somewhere. So it's probably time for that fall, you know, cleanup type thing for everything, you know. But anyway, so we got our AR there. We got our Lancer magazines, which is my preferred magazine. You know, it's what the best of the best use. And then we also have our Magneto Speed Chrono, the Sporter model. So probably at some point I'll do a review on this. These I find are really good. It just simplifies your life a lot. They're very easy to mount. They give good consistent readings, it seems like. And I've just had good luck with it. It just makes my life easier. Trying to set up those other chronographs that you shoot through, I found with the terrain that I'm in, everything is you know, everywhere around here it's mountainous. You know, there's almost no place that's kind of level. Trying to get that set up and get the consistency with the rifle and shooting through it exactly every time, and you know, and just getting everything lined up so you have that repeatability. Much more pain. And so anyways, I looked around, I'd seen people using these, and now that I have one, you know, I love it. Probably the only thing I think that is a little bit, well, I think now the thing is with our phones and stuff, we have apps, and you know, I guess they have the other model that has the app and you can plug it into your phone and it's much easier. I would say probably the only negative with the cheaper model is you just have this little readout screen right here that goes with it, and that, you know, it works okay for what you're doing, but I would just much rather have an app where I can save the data, you know, all that sort of stuff, and not have to deal with wires running out of the chronograph, like basically Bluetooth, and then a little screen, and then having to go back through the screen and get the time and all that. So, you know, it works good. It's just probably that would be the only big downside that I see with it. So at some point maybe I'll do a more in-depth review on it, and if it's available on Amazon, I'll put a link below, and if you want to look into getting one of these, I do recommend them. You know, anything bought through the Amazon links, it kicks back a little bit to the channel, and you know, that just helps make more videos. So anyways, and then the other thing is we've got our electronic earmuffs from Howard Late, and then also too, the other thing I'm kind of sensitive about is lead and all that stuff. So you know, I try to kind of minimize my contact with lead and stuff, so I use those D-wipes too. And then so the brass don't go flying everywhere, I got one of these Caldwell bags, and that seems to work pretty good too. So I think I filmed a video on that and I haven't even posted it, so I need to look through my stuff from last spring and see if I'm pretty sure I filmed a video, but I don't know, I guess I forgot to post it, so I need to look into that. So anyways, we're going to get set up here to shoot. So we're shooting at 50 yards. Like I said, it's probably not going to be the greatest precision because I don't really have a good target down there with definition, but hey, we're just going to roll with it and see what we get. Now, a lot of people, they might ask, well, with that chronograph on the barrel, could it affect the barrel harmonics and then maybe the accuracy? Yeah, I guess there's a potential for that. But, and I know a lot of times when people go to the range to shoot, to test out their loads or whatever, they chrono at the same time they shoot for accuracy. Myself, I usually do not do that. If I want to chronograph a load, I basically just focus on chronographing it, getting the data that I need, and then I can go and shoot on paper and see what my accuracy is. So that's the way I do it. I guess it's kind of up to other folks, how they want to play it. And, maybe also too, they have limited rounds to shoot, so they got to do both at the same time. Again, it's one of those things that all kind of depends on what works for you. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and load up. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're just going to shoot for our data. So I'm just going to shoot 10 rounds, and I'll put them down there on the steel about 100 yards away. And we'll just kind of see what feet per second we get out of this and how that all pans out. $2,022. $2,003. $1987. $1942. That one says 1942. Okay. All right, so 1942 for both of them. Okay. So that's right on the money, I guess. $1947. $1961. And also the one thing I see is all the shots, they're basically going to the right. So $1968. $1968. $1931. 1965. Okay. All right. So here's our data. The average, 1966. The high, 2022. Let me plug in the microphone here. Our low was 1931. Standard deviation, 29. So 1965, 1931, 1968, 1961, 1947, 1942, 1942, 1987, 1987, all right, 2003, and then 2022. Okay, so that's how it all came out in the wash there. All right, folks, so looking at the data there, looks like we had, looked like I think a split of about 90 feet per second there. Most of them kind of seem to be in the ballpark of around 1960, somewhere in there, 1950 maybe. You know, so I don't know, I'm fairly happy with that. That'll be fine. The only thing is, and perhaps too, the chronograph messes with the accuracy of the barrel. I don't know, but it seemed like the shots went kind of way more right. I haven't shot this rifle for a while with this load, and you know, probably tweaked it in the past for other loads as well. So this rifle here is just kind of the donkey rifle that does all the testing, so it's kind of always getting fiddled with. But yeah, the shots kind of went way right there. So anyways, so we'll put it on paper and we'll see where we're at, but again, I'm expecting the shots to kind of go right. So we'll just get a group and see how tight the group is and see how that works out. But to me, the feet per second, you know, that's fine, close enough for what we're doing, and you know, no issues at all. Everything cycled just fine, no problems, and it went well. So we're going to load up again, and now we'll go ahead and we'll put the rounds on paper and see where it goes. All right, so before I went ahead and shot this, I just kind of made a rough guess of kind of what to change on the EOTech to kind of bring the shots more into the center. And so just put some rounds on paper. I went left 3, down 1, and that seemed to kind of get things kind of more to where they need to be. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and shoot for accuracy now, and we'll see what we get. I'll go ahead and put 10 rounds down there, and yeah, we'll just see what happens. There'll probably be at least one flyer or two, but you know, we'll just kind of see how it goes and how it all turns out. From what I just saw, it's looking pretty good, so hopefully I can replicate that for down below, and we'll see what happens. So here we go. Pretty much dead center. Now that one, that went a little high for some reason. That looks to be dead on. I think that one went a little high there. All right. All right, folks, so let's go ahead and wrap it up for the Hornady 150 grain full metal jacket, 300 Blackout with a little gun. And so this is just our kind of our standard plinking load. Didn't do anything super special in terms of chamfering, deburring, trimming, anything like that with the brass. And then you know, also too, we're just using a standard AR with standard AR trigger. The trigger I find on this is kind of gritty and kind of stiff, so it would be nice to kind of you know, maybe put a better trigger in and kind of see what we get in terms of our accuracy on that. But that's what we used right there to sight in. And I ended up dropping it down one, which when we came down here, probably could have come down another one on the EOTech to kind of bring it more in line. So not a bad group overall. Probably your average in there. You know, most of the shots kind of, I would say that group from what I measured with the calipers, it's about 1.5 inches, slightly bigger, depending on which kind of angle you go for. But not a bad group overall. I know this one here on the right, I kind of yanked on the trigger a little bit, and then this one here, I remember when that one went high. But the others I thought were pretty well bang on. So I was putting the red dot right here on the 0. So probably, like I said, with the EOTech, could have come down another one or so, and kind of would have brought that maybe more in line. But not a bad group overall. You know, standard AR trigger, EOTech. You know, nothing special with the brass. So basically, you know, that's enough to kind of get you in the ballpark if you're plinking. And you know, there's probably different ways we could tweak it up and tune it from there. But you know, pretty happy with that. So anyways, so that'll pretty much do it for this. And then coming up, we'll have to see. There's a lot of different stuff. I have tons of different 300 Blackout oriented bullets. So 300 Blackout, as I've mentioned to people, you know, it's just always going to be kind of an ongoing thing on this channel, because I'm basically always experimenting with something. So, you know, that's just going to be kind of a thing that, you know, probably if I continue to do the channel, you know, over the next couple years, then there'll probably always be something 300 Blackout. I would say one thing I would like to do is build a good precision 300 Blackout rifle with a really good trigger in it, probably using a lot of Aero Precision parts because I like those. probably a real nice variable power scope. So that would be something I'd like to do over the winter. And then I have some other stuff I'm working here on the farm for videos as well. So I'll be releasing some of that stuff here soon. And yeah, probably got other stuff in the works as well. Getting ready for reloading season, so we got all that stuff coming up, and probably going to do some pistol stuff. I'll do some 9mm stuff if there's demand for it. I might do a video here coming up with 45 ACP. I just have some brass before I convert the press over to 9mm. There is some 45 ACP brass, and I just got another pistol powder, so I figure I might work up a load with that and kind of see what I get. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the pipeline. And you know, the other thing also, one of my videos hit 10,000 views recently, one of the machine gun videos. So if there's demand for that, I have tons of videos of me shooting machine guns over the years. I'll look into editing some of that stuff together and putting together some cool videos of doing some full auto stuff. And I should be shooting machine guns again here actually shortly. And of course I'll be, you know, doing some filming with that. So anyways, yeah, lots coming up. Any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. Definitely a lot more coming up to experiment with and to do. So no shortage of that. I think it just is finding the time to actually film a lot of this stuff. I think that's what it comes down to. So anyways, appreciate y'all's feedback. I appreciate y'all watching, and hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see y'all again soon.